Now, more than 20 schools across the country have been banned following a wave of students' unrest, with questions lingering. Tonight, we look at what could be the cause. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. But first, these are the stories making headlines tonight.
Warnings, nobody bothers. I said from the very beginning, we are an indisciplined nation. And because we are indisciplined, we defy. And when we defy, there is anarchy.
Political leaders are to blame for the school's unrest. Head teachers now speak on the latest wave of school fires in the country. Also tonight,
the consolidated petitions shall be earned on 3 consecutive days.
Supreme Court judges fine-tuning BBI's reggae.
That is on the 18th, 19th and 20th January 2022.
Will it be a remix or die altogether? Plus,
sema wale small scale miners wale wana shida, nilikuwa kule ndani nikaona wengine walikufa kule ndani ya shimo. Tunataka kampuni kama hii ambao na ujuzi wa kutosha kwa mambo ya mining.
Tonight we shall tell you about Kakamaga's 100 million gold project. Mini Mbesa is our sign language interpreter. Good evening, I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. Now, the chair of the Kenya Secondary Schools Heads Association in the Mulikahi now says the ongoing unrest in schools stems from the indiscipline prevalent in the country, which can be witnessed from the behavior of the country's leaders. Indimuli says going forward, students found guilty of destroying school property should be disciplined to serve as an example to others who might think of doing the same. Our senior education affairs reporter Sharon Baranga begins our broadcast tonight.
Now the country has been awash with the news of cases of school fires and unrests, with questions lingering on why are the unrests witnessed during the second term, what are the causes of the school fires and who is really behind it, who stands to gain and why does it have to cost so much for the parents. The chair of the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association in the Mulikahi says students found guilty of destroying school property should be punished in a way that it will serve as an example.
In the schools where students have been found and they will be proven beyond reasonable doubt in a court of law that they actually participated in bringing down the school, they must be punished. And the punishment should be such that it is a lesson to the others who may be planning in future to do that. At times we just have to to play hardball also. It will be painful, I know. It will be painful. But what are they able to assess the pain the other students are going through today who have lost their property? Are they able to measure the pain the parents are going through today, expected to pay for the damaged property? And maybe this parent who is paying has not even managed to raise fees. Maybe this parent who is paying, the child is very innocent, was not even anywhere near the fire.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha has already vowed to crush errant students as a wave of school unrests sweeps through the country. The CS says that no school will be closed due to unrests and that anyone found culpable will face the full force of the law.
You must know that there is a consequence to it. And we shall not handle you with kid gloves. You are our children. We have produced you with our own blood. Surely you cannot be more intelligent than us.
A section of the public believe that one of the possible causes of indiscipline in schools is the abuse of drugs.
Young people are taking drugs, to be honest with you. I have known of people taking drugs at the age of 11. If somebody takes drugs at the age of 11, the father is too busy drinking and watching football. The mother is too busy in chamas. You can't have 5 chamas and you only have 4 weekends. So who is raising your children? It is social media. And we have glorified people taking alcohol. They like their status. People, some of the celebrities, taking drugs and smoking and posting the videos.
Meanwhile, teachers have been urged to be on the lookout for indiscipline cases in students, and at the same time, heads of schools are advised not to register new students before getting to know their background from their previous schools.
These madness in schools will have to end. And the people to end the madness are the students themselves. Beginning by being open to discuss whatever challenges they are facing. It will end by parents being also available to give guidance to their children as they leave school, and it will end by us teachers also being ready to listen and guide the children in the right ways.
For now, parents are expected to foot the bills to repair schools' damaged property. On Monday, students of Buruburu Girls reported to school. They were expected to pay for the damages as well as clear their school fees. Earlier this week, Education CS hinted the return of corporal punishment in schools. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Well, that story by Sharon Baranga will form the basis of our discussion a little bit later on the program. We will be speaking to the principal of Jamhuri Secondary School, Ayub Mohammed, and Victor Wanga, a teacher from Upper Hill, to make sense of the unrest in schools. Moving on, the BBI appeal case will now be heard on the 18th, 19th and 20th of January, with 7-judge bench at the appellate court issuing new timelines that have spelled doom for the BBI proponents. And as David Mudoka now reports, a do-or-die moment awaits the BBI process that has suffered 2 legal blows already, with its proponents seeking a much-needed reprieve.
BBI proponents and opponents have just 2 months to brace for one last dance, this time at the Supreme Court, which on Tuesday set aside January 18th, 19th and 20th, 2022 to hear the BBI consolidated petitions.
This is the application for the recusal of 2.
And besides setting the hearing dates, the Apex Court judges further dismissed an application by lawyer Isaac Aluochier to have 3 Supreme Court judges, Mohamed Ibrahim, Njoki Ndungu and Smoky Nwanjala, recused themselves from the case, accusing them of being biased. According to the Supreme Court bench, the petition was an afterthought, ill-conceived and meant to delay the petition.
The applicant has not demonstrated and or adduced any such evidence in support of the allegations on bias by any of the cited judges. C, the application is self-defeating for the reason that whereas the applicant cites 3 judges for recusal, it seeks the recusal of only 2 of them.
This as the judges issued deadlines for the filing of submissions by the appellants and respondents, who are now in a race against time. The appellants will have 15 days now to file written submissions. The respondents will have the same number of days to respond, while the appellants will have a further 5 days to reply if they wish so.
Parties will be given 28 pages for the written submissions. And that will also mean that during the hearing, parties will be given 20 minutes to highlight the submissions.
But while the parties adjust to the new dates, the time is ticking for BBI proponents and their hopes for a pre-election referendum. With the hearing coming barely 7 months to the August 2022 contest, the judgment could come just 4 months to the election if the 2-month period that the appellate court judges took to write their verdicts is anything to go by. It is unlikely that a country on the verge of changing guard will be in any referendum mood. Further, some BBI proposals, such as the recommendation for a new IEBC, are already behind schedule, spelling more doom to referendum plans. But while the BBI finale looms, the appellants, among them Attorney General Paul Kihara Kariuki, the BBI Secretariat and the IEBC, will be seeking to be that time lucky and have the Supreme Court amplify the volume of the BBI reggae rather than ultimately mute it. 7 concerns are expected to form the bulk of the BBI petition, among them whether the president is supposed to initiate a constitutional change, whether the president can be sued in the course of his tenure for something done or not done, whether the IEBC met or lacked quorum during the initial referendum stages, as well as whether the basic structure doctrine is applicable in Kenya, and if so, the extent of its application. David Mudhoka, TV47, Nairobi.
Well, members of parliament allied to the ODM party now want Deputy President William Ruto to stop misleading Kenyans, accusing Ruto of setting a stage for a row. Josh Onsare reports.
The ODM party leader Raila Odinga has continued to popularize his presidential bid ahead of the 2022 elections. The ODM boss on Tuesday met Ukambani delegates at Chungwa House to drum up support for his presidential bid, this coming ahead of Raila's tour of the Ukambani region on Friday.
Siku ya Ijumaa hii inakuja, tunakuja Ukambani. Tunakuja na azimio ya umoja, tunakuja naye.
MPs who accompanied the ODM leader have condemned MPs allied to the UDA party, accusing them of setting a disputed stage of the 2022 election outcome.
Mimi nikilia, ujue huko sura hizi nimenyoroshwa. Ukiona mwanasiasa analia, ujue tu kwa ground amenyoroshwa. Sasa ndio wameanza kulia. Wanasema sijui nani waziri gani Matiangi, sijui Musheru, sijui nani ana support prime minister. Hiyo yote ni kulia.
Tumwambie we want an assurance from the official leader of opposition from 2022, William Ruto, that he will accept the decision of Kenyans to make Raila Amolo Odinga the president, the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya.
The MPs have told Ruto to prepare to serve as opposition leader after next year's elections.
Raila, hawa jamaa saizi wameanza kutumia tactics za upinzani. Unajua tayari wameingia upinzani. Hata leo hii wako maeneo ya Nyanza, watu wetu wamesema wanaenda kuhand over instruments of oppositions kwao. Waanze kuzoea hiyo kazi mapema.
Kitu inaendelea vizuri kwa serikali ya Uhuru. Ruto anataka kuchukua credit. Tumefanya hii, tumejenga hii barabara, tumefanya hii kama Jubilee. Maneno ikienda kombo, sasa hiyo hayuko hapo, ni Uhuru peke yake. Ni mkora ama si mkora? Ni mkora ama si mkora?
Raila has promised to ensure equality in service delivery if elected the 5th president of Kenya.
Kenya ni moja. Mpaka tuhakikisha kwamba hali ya elimu ni sawa katika taifa letu yote. Hali ya matibabu ni sawa katika taifa letu lote. Miundo msingi na kadhalika, mpaka tuhakikisha kwamba ni sawa kila mahali.
Further, the former premier promised to Ukambani delegates and Kenyans that his government will give loans to Kenyans for them to set up their businesses.
Na wale ambaye hawezi kuajiriwa pale au wengine ambao wanataka kuanzisha biashara yao, waweze kuanzisha biashara yao wenyewe. Wapewe mkopo na serikali. Pale wanaweza kukopa pesa, anaanzisha nayo biashara yake. Na hiyo hakuna pesa analipa mpaka baada ya miaka 7 kama vile tuliweka kwa BBI.
When you take over power, that you consider friendly policies which will uplift all self-help groups to a standard of a circle. We know you can do that. You are enigma.
Josh Onsare, TV47, Nairobi.
While still in politics, and Deputy President William Ruto has begun his 3-day tour of ODM leader Raila Odinga's backyard of Nyanza region with a bag full of goodies, among them free nominations for people living with disability. Paul Kirobi dissects through Ruto's bag of goodies.
Ya kwamba nitatembea hapa Kisumu kwa sababu tunataka tukubaliane.
Deputy President William Ruto has begun his 3-day tour of Nyanza region to woo voters ahead of the 2022 general elections. The DP has landed in Kisumu with a bag full of goodies.
So that next year, as you go to vote, you are voting knowing very well what your government will do beginning day one. Sitaki mupige kura, na mi nataka niwaambie tafadhali. Politics is about interests. It is not about your relative, your friend, or the person you love. It's about interest.
Ruto says people living with disability who will be vying for different political seats using the UDA ticket will get direct nominations.
I am sure we will be pushing the bounds. We will be pushing the boundaries to make sure that people with disability, they are included in the management of our country.
The DP has been at loggerheads with his opponent ODM boss Raila Odinga, accusing him of hijacking the government, making it dysfunctional, and also pushing for 2020 constitutional amendment bill. But when Ruto was asked on how he will reward former Kibra parliamentary aspirant Eliud Owalo,
the most important thing is the plan we have, and Owalo has been part of the development of that plan with many other professionals.
Meanwhile, a rift has emerged between Ruto supporters over active participation of cabinet secretaries in politics.
We sent a very strong letter saying that CSs must not engage in management of elections in Kenya because we have the IEBC, which is constitutionally mandated to manage elections. Yesterday, some CSs responded and said they have a right to support candidates.
Kubadilisha sera ya nchi ambayo imekaa miaka 70 wakati wa ukoloni ikiwa ni top down, na tena kubadilisha ikiwa ni wakati wa uhuru tangu 1963 miaka 59 kutoka trickle down. Kubadilisha sera hiyo tulete sera mpya ni vita kubwa.
Tomorrow, the DP is expected to tour Kondele Market, then head to Nyahera, where he will meet small-scale traders. On Wednesday, he will tour the famous Kondele Market, then head to Kisumu West constituency at Nyahera to meet small-scale traders and make donations. He will then tour Homa Bay and Migori counties on Thursday. Paul Kirobi, TV47.
Elsewhere, members of the Amani National Congress Party now say they will continue to popularize their party leader Musalia Mudavadi's presidential bid across the country. According to party officials, this will be achieved through consistency and long-term Meet the People tours. Speaking when he chaired the ANC parliamentary group meeting in Karen today, Musalia drummed up support for his presidential bid. This as the party prepares for its National Delegates Conference set to be held this month to endorse Mudavadi's presidential bid after the ANC Party Council ratified his candidature last year.
Ikiwa ni women rep, ikiwa ni senator, cheo chochote, hata governor, ambacho kinahitajika kuwa na kiongozi, watu wasishurutishwe, wananchi wenyewe waamue. Matiba alisema let the people decide.
Doing everything possible to shop for a suitable running mate for our presidential flag bearer, His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi. So what we are doing at the moment is we are talking to everyone. We are very open. We are engaging our partners in Oka.
Mheshimiwa Musalia Mudavadi is even stronger than ever before kuwania kiti cha urais.
We are confident that he has the qualities of becoming the president of this Republic of Kenya post-COVID to revive the economy of this country.
Chama chetu ndio cha kwanza kucomply na all requirements katika register of political parties.
Well, away from politics and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI has offered a 50 million shillings reward on 5 terror suspects believed to be on the run. DCI says they are armed, dangerous, and are planning to carry out terror attacks on Kenyan soil. Among them is Elgiva Bwire, who was allegedly abducted 12 days ago, soon after he was released from Kamiti Maximum Prison. Mwangi Maina has the details.
Mohamed amepigwa, ameumizwa sana, maskini mtoto wangu.
At their home in Kibokoni area of Old Town in Mombasa County, the family of 22-year-old Muhammad Abubakar is in pain. The family says their son, a second-year student at Uma University, was kidnapped by unknown people, believed to be police officers for reasons unknown to them. The family was shuddered beyond measure when Abubakar's mugshot appeared on the Twitter handle of the DCI as one of the 5 wanted terror suspects and a bounty of 10 million Kenya shillings placed on his head.
Leo tumpata maneno ya kusikitika sana kwamba mtoto wangu anashukiwa amejoin Al-Shabaab na anabeba silaha. Mtoto wangu Muhammad hajawahi kubeba silaha na hajawahi kusafiri kwenda Somalia.
The family alleges that the pictures show Muhammad with the same clothes he had on the day he disappeared. They claim the government knows the whereabouts of their son and are seeking his immediate release.
Pata picha, katika picha Muhammad mtoto wangu ampigwa, sura yake imfura. Mtoto wangu aoneshwa ampigwa sana na shati ya lovani hiyo alochukuliwa Alhamisi tarehe 14 mwezi wa 10 mwaka 2021.
Kuna picha nyingi ambazo tumeweka za Muhammad akiwa amevaa kofia, bila kofia, akiwa katika michezo. Ukiangalia kwenye YouTube utaona picha zake. Lakini hii picha inaonyesha wazi Muhammad ametortured. He was tortured. Ameumizwa sana. Sura yake imefura.
DCI has also placed a bounty of 10 million Kenya shillings on the head of Elgiva Bwire Oliacha, alias Saifdin Mohammed, alias Jafar, alias Jafel Okuku, alias Abu Muadh, an ex-convict released 12 days ago at Kamiti Maximum Prison after serving his 10-year jail term. Bwire, who was abducted soon after his release, is alleged to have gone under and vowed to carry out retaliatory attacks on security personnel and civilians. Bwire, a self-confessed Al-Shabaab terror group member, was convicted for carrying out a terror attack in Nairobi in 2011. Other terror suspects on the run are Salim Rashid Mohammed, alias Chotara or Turki, who is suspected to have joined the Islamic State terror group in Mozambique and hails from Mombasa County. Trevor Ndoiga, alias Idris Jamal, who was out on bond over terrorism charges, is suspected of joining the Al-Shabaab in Somalia. He hails from Hamza area in Makadara, Nairobi County. Barigi Abdikadir Haila, who hails from Manyata, Burji area in Marsabit County, is also suspected of joining the Al-Shabaab. DCI says the suspects are armed and dangerous and are planning to carry out attacks. Mwangi Maina, TV47, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, the Council of Governors has hailed ongoing reforms at the Kenya Medical Supplies Authority, KEMSA. COG Chairperson Martin Wambora says this will ensure better service delivery, especially to the county governments. Elsewhere, members of the National Assembly's Parliamentary Committee on Health have expressed their satisfaction with the board's decision. This as they called on the government to pay its debt to ensure programs at the devolved units run smoothly.
Yes, and that has been flying around. We've been assured that that's not the issue and the board is in control. Our asking as a committee is to make sure that they take care of the employees, make sure that as they restructure, they also make sure that they follow the law and due process to be followed. And so very important that this board also ensures that we'll have a proper management team and to make sure also that we do not interfere with the supplies. We have also been told that KEMSA is almost on its knees because they have many people who owe them a lot of money. My appeal to the county government is that if you owe KEMSA, kindly pay so that they will be able also to sustain themselves, that they'll be able also to buy their supplies, to be able to supply you. It is important that we take KEMSA back to where it was before, And the few issues that have come up, change is inevitable. It can be painful at some point, but we just want to urge even the employees to just be at peace and wait for this process to go on. And I know from what we have been briefed that this team is keen to make sure that they will not hurt people. They are going to do the process in a very smooth manner.
Moving on, Kakamega Governor Wycliffe Oparanya has launched a 100 million shillings gold project that is the first of its kind in the country. Speaking during the launch of the project that will be put up in Kakamega County, Oparanya said the project will benefit residents who have been suppressed by brokers for long. Take a look.
Nasema wale small scale miners wale wana shida. Nilikuwa kule ndani nikaona wengine walikufa kule ndani ya shimo. Tunataka kampuni kama hii ambao na ujuzi wa kutosha kwa mambo ya mining wasaidie hao small scale miners, walete modern equipment ndio hao pia waweze kupata gold ya kutosha.
Moving on, the High Court in Eldoret has directed that Ibrahim Rotich, who is the prime suspect in the murder of athlete Agnes Tirop, be taken for a mental assessment at the Moi Referral Hospital before being charged with murder. Speaking during the court proceedings, Deputy Registrar of the High Court in Eldoret, Diana Milimo, directed that Rotich be produced before the court on November 16th.
The 16th, that is
Prosecution counsel on record, as well as the response by the defense counsel. Directions are hereby given that the accused person be escorted for mental assessment at Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, and he be produced before the duty judge on 16th of November 2021 for plea taking. In the meantime, he is to be remanded at Eldoret Railway Police Station as prayed.
Now, the Kenya Revenue Authority, KRA, is set to make upward adjustments on excise duty on alcohol, bottled water, juices, cigarettes, among other products. KRA says the inflation adjustment to the rate duty on accessible goods with a specific rate of duty was implemented as of November 2nd. The motorcycle imports will also go up, as Mudhoni Maina now explains.
Finance consulting firm PricewaterhouseCoopers PwC is warning of a possible confusion that could be caused by legal notice number 217 issued by KRA Commissioner C.G. Githimboro. According to the finance consulting firm PwC, the notice seeks to adjust excise duty levied on various products was published on November 2nd, 2021, but is dated 15th October 2021 and does not clearly define its effective date. In a tax alert issued by PwC's tax consultants, they warn that this is likely to create confusion as the effective date could be subject to varying interpretation, which is bound to present compliance challenges to businesses and disputes with the tax authority. The inflationary adjustment was introduced to ensure that the duty does not lag as price levels increase due to inflation. This was as a result of the Excise Duty Act 2015, the Excise Act, introducing specific excise duty rates for most products except cosmetics, food supplements, and motor vehicles. Due to this excise duty, consumers will have to pay an additional 5.77 Kenya shillings for a litre of beer and 13.20 Kenya shillings for spirits. Duty on chocolate will hike by 10.43 Kenya shillings per kg. A price of 20 cigarettes rise by 3.29 Kenya shillings, and bottled water from 5.74 to 6.03 Kenya shillings per litre. The new rates will also apply to imported motorcycles motorcycles, except for motorcycle ambulances, imported sugar confectionery, and white chocolate. However, a notable exception from legal notice number 217 is an excise inflation adjustment on petroleum products. This follows as a petition was filed at the High Court in Nairobi seeking to block KRA from adjusting excise duty on petroleum products through a public notice issued on August 10, 2021. This follows after KRA issued a directive on monitoring social media accounts of Kenyans who are posting lavish lifestyles on social media platforms but do not pay taxes or pay less taxes for excuses of being unemployed. Mboro said his offices have embarked on tracing Kenyans posting photos of luxurious cars, holding expensive parties, and living lavishly to ensure their taxes concur with their image. Even with this being implemented, Kenyans are still enjoying light banter moments as they share part of their meals and coded memes on social media. Muthoni Maina, TV47.
Thank you, Muthoni Maina, for that report. You're watching TV47 News Tonight. Time for us to take a short break. Stay with us. Sports News is up next after this break.
You are watching TV47, the home of untold stories. Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
It's when you finally relax and allow yourself to comfortably float in a bubble. When being pampered comes standard. When you break away from that tiring day and partake in that satisfying feeling that
Entrepreneurs around the country are creatively grinding.
I started with a borrowed phone. A borrowed phone? Yeah, that could last 2 hours with charge.
We just have to do quality work for them.
To make their mark in an unpredictable market.
It was now going on a sales venture, looking for stockists, door to door.
On the grind, we bring you their stories so you can tell yours. Every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Men are known to be the pillars.
We're rising up together.
Say your point. You need an alpha male now to come and help you and your girl.
Anaongea zero.
And women, they are the cornerstone that hold the pillars.
Dali kati ya mwingine.
Don't